All right. Thank you all for joining us for the Everything You Need to Know About Academic Options After Your Bachelor's Degree workshop. Joining us today is Lori Filippo, Assistant Director of Recruitment. They will be teaching us ways to prepare for graduate school, how to present organized and complete information when applying for graduate school, in the application process, as well as financial support and funding, and so much more. And without further ado, I will go ahead and hand it over to them to get started.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Hello everyone. My name is Lori Filippo. I am the Assistant Director of Grad Recruitment. Let me go ahead and just hit this really quick. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. What I like to touch on first is what is graduate school and professional school. At UNLV, we do have over 175 graduate degrees with 40 professional and certificate programs. We like to show this just kind of give you an idea of all the different options that you do have with grad school. The master's usually that is considered a arts or a science degree. It is the largest category of degrees offered. Most of the master's degrees, they do go on to licensure. So if you're looking for counseling, nursing, teaching, the master's degree can help you out to get those different licensures. There is also then the doctoral degrees. So these can either be post-bachelor's or post-master's. So if you are interested in a PhD program, or maybe you're in your place of employment right now, you're looking to advance, maybe you're looking to change careers, I always suggest looking to see what is actually required for that career path. Do you need a master's? Can you go right into a PhD? As I mentioned, some of our doctorate programs, as long as you completed the bachelor's, you can go straight into a PhD program. So definitely something to consider. Will save you some time, some money. But yeah, so definitely look at that. Could be fewer classes that you have to complete if you can do just go right into it from a bachelor's degree. Then there's also the professional track. So professional would be those fields that are like your law school, going into med school. We also have occupational therapy or physical therapy. So we do have those available at UNLV as well. And then we do have graduate certificates. These are, maybe you are not too sure where you want to go with grad school yet. You just finished your bachelor's, but you're not too sure really what you want to do with your master's, or maybe going for that PhD. Maybe you're just kind of getting your feet wet with it. You want to just kind of see, well, do I want to go education, or maybe do I want to go the business route? So this is just a good way to kind of get your feet wet with it and really test out. It also can help you though to get into that master's degree later on. So for example, we offer what's called a business certificate. So maybe you're not too sure if you want to go for that MBA yet. We do offer a business certificate that is actually the first 5 courses of the master's. So that by the time if you do go for your MBA, you've already started your degree with your certificate. So and we also have advanced certificates. Some of those, though, they do require the master's degree. Okay, so why go to grad school? So what we have found out is only about 14.4% actually hold graduate and professional degrees. So the grad degree, professional degrees, they do make you stand out. They do make you more marketable. And it definitely gives you those different skills that employers are looking for.
Sorry for the noise.
So I like to show this image. What this will give you an idea of is the higher the degree that you're going for, the lower the unemployment rate. And then just the opposite, the higher the degree you go for, the larger weekly earnings you could be receiving. So why grad school at UNLV? So you should all be very familiar with UNLV, but just to kind of give you a little bit more on why students are continuing their degree at UNLV, you do get to learn from nationally and internationally recognized faculty. You'll partner a lot with local employers. A lot of our programs, they do a lot with the community. They try to get you involved as much. They like to do outside classwork. So they really want to help you have that full experience with grad school, not just getting your degree with us. We want to see and help you get into that career afterward. You'll be working in research centers, labs, libraries. Now, we know our grad students are very non-traditional. They have families, they're working full-time. There's a lot going on. So with our classes, we offer them in the morning, afternoon. We have online classes, we have hybrid classes. We even have fully online graduate programs. So we try to cater to everyone with what's going on in their daily lives. Grad students can also apply to be a graduate assistant. So I'm not sure if everyone may be familiar with the term graduate assistant. We'll talk about that a little bit later and what that means for you. But the GA, it is not required for you to apply for one, but it is an opportunity for you to just, again, gather more research and then more experience while you're going to grad school. And we'll talk more about the benefits in a little bit. And then, of course, you'll be able to form those relationships with your faculty and your classmates. With UNLV, we are an R1 ranking institution, so the highest ranking that institutions can receive. As mentioned, we have over 175 graduate degree and certificate programs and more than 40 doctoral and professional programs. We are the second most diverse university in the country, and then you can see some of our other rankings here where we top 10 in social mobility. We are one of only 119 for community engagements. And then what's kind of cool too with the grad school is a lot of our programs, aside from being an R1 and aside from being a regionally accredited institution, they do hold their own accreditations as well. So definitely when you're researching our programs, go check out what accreditations they have, because they do have some national rankings and a top accreditation within their own area. Okay, so 175 programs is a lot. So you're maybe wondering, you may already know what program you want to go for, or you may be wondering, how do I even start? Where do I look? You know, is this the right program for me? So what we usually recommend is to start backwards. Look at the career that you want to go for, or you may already be in that career, but you're looking to advance in it. You know, what makes you happy? What, you know, maybe think outside the box. What did you get your bachelor's in or getting your bachelor's in? And, you know, is this really what you want to keep moving forward with? You can always, you know, for me, I started my bachelor's in business, but then I said, you know, but I really like higher education. Then I thought, okay, maybe I need to get a master's in higher education. But they said, no, you know, higher ed. You actually need to know more about the government side. So definitely look, talk to people in your field, look at those careers and see what is actually the program that I need to advance in my degree. Research and apply to the programs. So look at all of the programs, you know, after you look at your career and you said, okay, here's what they're asking me for in order to go into that career path. Now you'll want to look at that program that we offer. Check out what are the requirements that are needed for that specific program. You want to start narrowing down your programs as early as possible. We'll talk about it in a little bit, but all of our grad programs have very specific requirements that are needed. And deadlines that you have to have your application and materials in by. The deadlines are just, they're non-negotiable. You may be able to work a little bit with the grad coordinators if you're a little bit past due on some of your documents, but really they are expecting everything to be in by that deadline. So you want to start narrowing down your programs as early as you can, especially if you have a lot of programs, if you're not, again, sure what path you should go on with your grad degree. Make sure you're contacting us. We're here to help you out, try to narrow that down a little bit for you. We have graduate coordinators in every single program that can help you out. So really make sure you're contacting us, knowing the programs, knowing what's required, and especially knowing that what the deadline is. So deadlines, we can't stress this enough with grad school. As I mentioned, Every single graduate program has a specific deadline on when you have to have your application and materials submitted by. So definitely plan ahead, look at your program. Some of our programs, they only admit once a year. Sometimes they have very, very early deadlines. We have programs right now that are closing on October 1st. So definitely check it out. Know what your deadline is. If you have to do a GRE, a GMAT, if you have to do a statement of intent or a writing sample, a lot of these things do take time and you want to make them the best that they can be. So know what your deadline is, know what your requirements are. If you need help finding any of this information, contact us. Let us know. Contact the graduate coordinator, the professors. We're here to help to make sure that you get everything in on time. So as I mentioned, we want to make sure that while you're going to grad school, you're getting that full experience with us. So what I want to go over is some of the grad student services that we do offer. So one way is we actually support you while you are an undergrad student. So there's two methods of doing this. We have the accelerated programs. These allow undergrad students to basically get that head start with their grad degree as they are taking the grad courses as an undergrad student. So we have, for example, our Masters of Arts in Economics. If you are a senior right now in your undergrad, you could start taking the courses for that, have them count toward your master's degree. And again, it just is going to give you that head start in your program. So there are some accelerated programs out there that you could start taking grad level courses. And then by the time you graduate and go for your master's, you already got that little push and may not take as long to get your master's completed. Even if you're not looking to maybe do an accelerated program, you again can still take some grad classes. Maybe you want to do 1 or 2 grad level courses as an undergrad. We do have an approval form for you to do that. And then on the form, you'll just say that you're reserving the credit for your grad degree when you do get accepted. So definitely check it out and see if one of these ways may be an option for you. There's also the Grad Academy, which I'm sure you all are very familiar with. The Grad Academy is wonderful. They offer a ton of free resources to UNLV students. So I would say a lot of our grad students, one of the services they seem to love is that Grad Rebel Writing Boot Camp. Just if you're needing help with any kind of, your thesis, your dissertation, any kind of publication. So our grad students, from what I always hear, is they really love that writing boot camp. Of course, Rebel Advantage and the ambassadors, and then those certifications. Those are great too. So if you're looking, into getting maybe your business degree, but you want to do more on research or mentorship, these are additional things that can really amp up your CV and let those careers know, hey, I didn't just get my degree at UNLV, I went a step further and got these certifications as well. And the nice thing, again, these are all free to add on to your degree. Check out the events as well. Some of these are competition-based, so it can even give you an experience if you have to practice doing your thesis. But there's also prizes at the end, so definitely check them out. Make sure you're checking out your Rebel email for what's going on around campus. But there's a lot with the Academy and a ton, again, free resources, can't beat that, and to really help you through your journey of grad school. We, of course, offer a ton of resources just on campus. So there's the Disability Resource Center, Health Center, the Writing Center itself. Definitely take advantage of that in grad school. If you need help with any of your papers, just want someone to edit your document, definitely make an appointment with them. They're great to just review or edit. So I would definitely utilize them throughout grad school. And then the Student Recreation and Wellness Center. So any resources, there's any help you need throughout grad school, definitely check out the resources we have. At the grad college, we also offer a ton of events. These are all primarily virtual. We have some we're trying to get more in person. Ones I would suggest going for is our grad applications 201 event. The 201 will dive a little bit deeper onto the application. It'll let you know more specifically what is the department looking for. So for today, and even through the 101, we talk more about the application process. But now you might still have questions on, okay, well, what about the statement of intent or those letters of recommendation? More about the GRE and the GMAT. So that is what we're going to cover in the 201 sessions to really go more into what is the department looking for and how to read those requirements. We also have department-specific events. If you're interested in occupational therapy, if you're interested in communication, social work, business, we work very closely with these departments and the coordinators. And so they will actually host sessions with us to go over what they require about their application process. So check out our event page, see if there's any events that might interest you. I highly recommend the department ones if you're able to attend those. Again, because you're meeting specifically with the coordinators who can tell you what they are looking for in order for you to be accepted into their program. Okay, so applying to be a grad rebel. Once you know what program you are wanting to go into, you will actually complete your application online through the Grad Rebel Gateway. This will be your main hub from when you start your application all the way until you graduate. So this will be where you need to upload all of your application requirements. So your transcripts, your statement of intent, any kind of testing will be uploaded to the Grad Rebel Gateway. The application fee is $95 for international students or $60 for domestic students. Again, just make sure you're knowing what your deadline is. On our website, we do have program pages for every single program that will tell you what is required for that program. So again, if you have any questions, let us know. We'll help you navigate the Grad Rebel Gateway. Once you submit your application and your documents, your application will go under review by the graduate admissions team. What they are going to look for is that you have a bachelor's degree from a regionally accredited institution or an approved internationally equivalent. For your bachelor's degree, they will want to see that you have at least a 2.75 GPA. Now, if you fall below the 2.75, they will look at the last 60 credits you completed, and they will want to see that you have at least a 3.0 for those last 60 credits. Now, if you say, you know what, I fall just below the 2.75 and my last 60 is maybe a 2.98, so you're just falling right below there. Do not feel discouraged if you do not meet these 2 GPA requirements. This is just the initial review. It is not the complete final review of your application. After our review, we will then send your application and your documents to the department, where they will then review everything holistically and make an overall admissions decision. They can still admit you even if you do not meet these GPA requirements. If you do not meet these GPAs, the department can decide to admit you provisionally. What that means is they'll just give you 3 classes. They're grad level courses that are already part of the program, so you're not wasting any time or money on it. And they will say, okay, you have a year to complete these 3 courses. You have to get a B or a better in them. And then that basically shows, yes, you're capable of doing the grad work. So again, these are just our minimum requirements for the GPA, but it's not your overall deciding factor. We do need to see transcripts from each post-secondary institution attended. So for UNLV, you do not have to give us your transcript. Just on your application when you apply, make sure that you just state that you went to UNLV. This just lets us know that we do have to pull it. If you went anywhere else before UNLV, maybe you took maybe some courses at CSN or received your associate's degree, make sure to mention that as well. You may have already provided that to UNLV, which is completely fine. It just, again, lets us know that we have to pull that record. If you are an international student, it may also require you to show proof of English proficiency. However, with graduating from UNLV, we'll just use your UNLV degree in place of that English test. Okay, so after that initial review, your application and materials will then go under review by the specific department that you applied with. So depending on the program you applied for will determine which documents are needed. It could be a personal statement where you're telling the committee why you should be accepted into their program. It could be letters of recommendation. Usually it's 2 or 3 letters that they're looking for. A standardized test. It may be a GMAT, GRE that the department is looking for. Some departments will require you to submit a resume. They may want writing samples. So it really just depends on the program. You can find all of this again on the program page on our webpage. So if you have any questions or want to know what is required specifically for your program, go ahead and just contact us. But this is specifically what they will look for. Once they review your application, they will then make their final decision and send it back over to our team, where we will then contact you via email on what that decision was. Okay, so this is always the fun part with funding grad education. So this is just an idea, just an estimate, I should say, on what the annual tuition and fees looks like for a grad student. So this is for this academic year, so the 2023-24 academic year. So a full-time grad student is considered 9 credits per semester. So they are usually taking about 3 classes in the fall and in the spring. They may take some classes in the summer, but for purposes of the tuition and fees, this would just be your fall and spring semester. So if you are an in-state, you're looking at a little over $7,000. If you're out of state, looking at a little over $24,000. Now, with grad school, we want to help out any way we can with that cost. So the number one way that we help out is through graduate assistantships. Again, you might have some GAs or be familiar with what the GA actually entails. In your undergrad class, there's usually GAs that are maybe they're helping with a topic for a professor. They might be helping with a project. They might be doing a research with a specific professor. We have GAs all over campus. So we have over 1,000 GAs that are working in non-academic and academic areas. I can tell you at the grad college, we even hire GAs. So I have 2 GAs under me that actually help and meet with prospective students. But what does a GA cover? So the GA will actually cover your full tuition up to 9 credits. Some departments or the positions may only cover the 6 credits. Some may cover the complete 9. It just depends on what area you're working in. But it does cover your full tuition. If you are out of state, you're also going to have the out of state tuition waived for you. So you are going to be coded as in-state while you are on a GA. The GA also receives a stipend every month. This did just recently increase. So right now our GAs are receiving anywhere between $17,000 and $22,000. They also receive registration fee reductions and health insurance benefits. So if you are a GA and you need to use UNLV's health insurance, the GA will actually cover that health insurance for you. Now, I'd like to mention that if you are not a GA and you enroll in 9 or more credits, you automatically are going to see that health insurance charge go onto your tuition. If you do see that, don't worry. If you say, hey, wait, I have my own health insurance, you can always waive out of our health insurance. So just keep that in mind. If you're not a GA, but you enroll in 9 credits, make sure you're checking out what your cost is. And if it's a little bit high, it might be because of the health insurance charge. but just know you can always waive out of the UNLV's health insurance. The GA-ship, now you can be a GA your first semester. So once you submit your application for grad school, you'll be able to apply to as many GAs as you would like. And again, they're all over campus. So you might find some in your area, maybe to do more research. You might find some in the non-academic areas. So apply to as many GAs as you can. If you don't get a GA your first semester, you can always apply to a GA the next semesters as well. We also offer 5.7 million in awards. So we do offer scholarships and fellowships to new and current students. A lot of the departments have their own funding as well. So it's always good to check in with them, see if maybe they offer any internal scholarships, if they have any awards that you can apply for. So always reach out and constantly check your Rebel email. We also provide low cost of living and tuition. As a grad student, you are not required to live on campus. But there are many different residency options around UNLV that are very affordable. We have the local discounts, tickets, and of course the entertainment. I like to point out, just because sometimes grad students don't realize that they can pull out loans. Sometimes they feel it's just for that one degree and then that's it, that they just cannot continue to get loans for the master's or further graduate degrees. You can take out unsubsidized loans from the Department of Education. Of course, with loans though, only pull out what you need. But again, we try to help out any way we can before it gets to you having to pull out a loan. We recommend filling out that FAFSA, even if you are not looking to pull out the loans. The UNLV Graduate College does provide over $1 million in access grants every year, but in order for you to qualify for any of those funds, you do need to have a FAFSA on file. So again, if you're not thinking about pulling out any loans, still fill out the FAFSA just to see if you'd be eligible for any grant money. And there's also the alternate need form if you may not be eligible for any FAFSA. Some more tips just on funding. We'll make sure that you get all this information sent to you, so you'll have the links provided. But look at maybe the organizations and companies. If you're currently working right now, check with the place that you're employed with. I've heard from a lot of grad students that if they want to move up in the company, or if they've been with the company for a while, that place might actually help to cover some of the tuition or costs of grad school. So you may want to reach out to them, see if they have any scholarships or awards that you can apply for. Don't be afraid to apply for the funding. A lot of students don't do it. We've had a few students that actually said, hey, I can get this amount of money just by going around and, doing the hashtag UNLV photos and going around campus to do that. And they actually ended up winning because not a lot of people participated in it. So you just never know. It might be little things like that just could get you a little bit of a scholarship or award to really help you with grad school. And then, of course, always stay connected. If you need anything, our office is always here to help. So we are actually located at the Student Service Complex, Building B. We're right next to the Wellness Center. If you're familiar with the UNLV layout, we are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So feel free to come in, make an appointment, or just walk in, and we're happy to help with any questions you might have about grad school. And I'll pass it back.
Well, thank you so much. We actually have a question in the chat. Are students in the Bridge program eligible to be a GA?
Yeah, so if they are in the accelerated program, because with the accelerated, if you have to be a grad student in order to be a GA is the main thing. So as long as you were accepted into the grad program, then yes, you can apply to be a GA on campus. So with the accelerated, as long as you are accepted into that program, then yeah, then you can apply to be the GA.
Thank you. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Please feel free to unmute or just drop them in the chat. If not, I have a few that could probably get a ball rolling. David, do you have a question or just a thumbs up?
Oh, no, just a thumbs up.
Oh,
I'm good.
okay.
Like, yeah,
Cool.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. So, what are some things that usually get overlooked like throughout the application process or when submitting applications? Like what are some, mess ups that you kind of see, or just things that we should probably keep in mind when considering and applying for graduate school?
Yeah, that is a great question. So, um, so the main thing I would say, okay, I know this isn't really like a mess up, but it's just something that we always hear, and this is why we always stress it, is the deadline. A lot of students are just like, oh, I didn't realize that's coming up. The other thing I think, just as your juniors or seniors in your undergrad, it's so crucial to know what that deadline is, because a lot of students think that they have to have their bachelor's degree totally completed and confirmed on their transcripts before they can actually apply to grad school, but that's not the case. If you're looking, let's say, to graduate, in the spring, and you're looking to start grad school the fall of 2024, but your deadline is very early and you're like, I'm still going to be completing my last semester, that's okay. You can still apply to grad school. What will happen is we'll say, hey, give us everything current that you have. Give us the most recent transcript, and we'll evaluate you based off that work. And then if you're accepted into your program, you'll be admitted conditionally into the program, with the condition being, hey, you have to show us your official final transcript by, X date. And we give you a lot of time to show us that confirmation of your degree. So while you are in your senior year and your junior year, start looking at the programs and those deadlines, because you definitely don't want to wait until everything is confirmed and officially completed, before you start applying to grad school. And now the thing is too, if your program only admits once a year, you might be missing out on a whole nother year before you can apply to grad school again. So do not wait. Look at the deadlines for grad school and with those programs. I would say the other thing is just your looking at just the little, the little details that they're asking for. So if you're looking at your statement of intent, are they wanting you to describe something? Are they wanting you to show examples? So really knowing exactly what the graduate coordinators are looking for, and then just staying in contact. Just make sure you stay in contact with us, with, of course, the academy, your mentors, your just anyone, professors on campus. Seek out those questions that help. That's what we're all here for, is to answer any questions, no matter how big or small, to help out with.
Thank you. We have another question in the chat. Is working as a GA always in person? Is it a 9 to 5, 5 days a week?
Yeah. So for a GA, we have to say that you're a student first, right? So the GA, you can only work up to 20 hours a week. You may be able to do an additional 10. It just kind of depends on the department, and you'll want to talk to the grad financial team as well to get all of that figured out. The way a lot of the departments work, and I'll kind of go off the way I work as well with my GAs, is I will ask my GAs to provide me with their school schedule first. So they will set that up for the semester. And then based off their school schedule, then we figure out the working. Again, they're students first, right? So I want to make sure that they have plenty of time to be able to do their studies, to do their research. So I will usually work with them to see, okay, what days are you working? Do you want to, or do you have class? Do you want to work that same day? Some of them they do, that way they have that extended weekend or more days. Typically, they're only working about 3 days a week. And they usually like to have it set up on the same days that they're going to class. But it depends. If you're doing research GA, there might be other days that you just have to go in if that professor is only there on those days. But we do work with our GAs. Our GAs are always students first, so we'll make sure that, you know, you have that fine balance between work and personal life and have it all situated.
Thank you. Is there anything that we should probably keep in mind about the admissions committee and their review process that we probably wouldn't usually know as the applicant? Or is there anything in particular that could help us stand out or just stand out?
Yeah, I think a lot of students get nervous about the GPA. That's always a big one. The GPA tends to make students nervous. Again, that 2.75, if their student says, I'm right below that 2.75, do I not qualify for that program now? But no, that's definitely not the case. Your application is going to be looked at holistically by the department. So everything will get taken into consideration when you do apply. Trying to think of other things that will make you stand out. I always tell students, just making that initial contact with the coordinators. The coordinators, that's what they're there for. A lot of students I've heard from too, they say, well, is it okay to contact them? Can I actually do that? Like, do I have to wait until I'm a student? No, reach out to them. That's what they're there for. They are there to help you, you know, through the application process. If you're not really sure, hey, I'm kind of thinking this is the program I need for the career I want to go into, but I'm not 100% sure. They are there to help out with any of those little questions that you have. Plus, the coordinators are the ones who are making the admissions decision on your application. So it's good to have that, you know, initial meeting with them. And that way, when you do apply, they can put that name to a face and say, oh yeah, I remember talking to that person. You know, so it's good to make that connection, especially if you are looking to be a GA in their area. You know, let them know, hey, look, I'm really interested in this program. And, you know, I would love to be considered a GA, you know, if you're doing any kind of research or, you know, just talking to them, because they are the ones who make that admissions decision. One other tidbit I'll mention too is if you are required to do any recommendations for your specific program, let your recommenders know, hey, I am applying to this program, but I also want to be a GA. It's a little way to maybe kind of sneak that in there in your application. So when the coordinators are reviewing you, they can be like, oh, you know what, this person would be great at the program, but also they're being recommended, you know, to be a GA as well. So just a little way to kind of sneak things into your application.
Thank you. We have another question in the chat. Have people with 9-to-5 jobs been successful in completing graduate school? Is it realistically possible?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I will say it's always been depends on the program. I'm not gonna lie. If you're looking at like nursing, going into nursing, I mean, that alone, once you start doing clinicals and actually going out into the field, it may be a little tough. I mean, but that's why we always try to help out the students as much as we can with funding. But I know for me, when I went and got my master's, I was working full-time. I'm also a full-time mom, so I was doing full-time mom and full-time work and going to grad school at the same time. The nice thing I found out with grad school is a lot of the programs, the courses really cater to those that have jobs at, you know, the 9-to-5. When I went to grad school, all of my courses were either online or they started at 5:30. which was great for me. So it was just right after work, go right to grad school, and then go ahead and do those. And you have to look at it too, right? So full time again for a grad student is 9 credits. So it's 3 classes that you're taking every semester. But talk to your coordinator. Can you go part-time? Some of our programs do have part-time tracks, so you might be able to do a few less courses throughout the semester to help you out. But it's definitely doable. It is manageable. I know it sounds like a lot. I really enjoyed my master's degree. I think that was my favorite degree out of all of them so far. So it's definitely manageable.
All right, thank you. We have a few more questions in the chat. The first one is, as far as testing deadlines, or is the testing open throughout the year? Are there deadlines with the testing, or is the testing open throughout the year?
Yeah, definitely look at the testing that you have to do. If you have to do a GRE or a GMAT. I don't know if I'm able to share my screen again, if that's okay. There is a page I really like showing. Sorry, you give me like a few seconds here. And I'm going to share my screen one more time. I just think this page is great for students. Okay. So can you see my page okay? Okay. So on the web page, when you go onto the Graduate College homepage, if you scroll down on here and underneath the word apply, if you click learn more. Oh, let's see if this will, okay, here we go. It's going to take you to our future student page. From the future students, scroll down, and if you click on where it says deadlines, so one, this will show you all the deadlines for our specific programs. However, what I really like showing is right underneath application requirements, you'll see a view our full listing PDF. If you click on that, and I apologize for being small, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger here. There we go. This is a great resource. It does constantly get updated. I believe the last time it was updated was just this August. This will show you every single graduate program that we offer, master's, PhD, certs, and it'll let you know if there is a standardized test required for that program, what is the test they're looking for. So if it's needing a GRE or a GMAT, a lot of our programs, they're actually starting to do away with testing or offer a waiver options. So this will let you know what exactly is needed, if there is that waiver, what they will want to see from you. If they have a test, what kind of score are they looking for? So definitely check out that. But if you do have to do any testing, GRE, GMAT, it is a third party. We don't have them at UNLV. So you will need to contact either like ETS, or if you're doing your GMAT, contact the GMAT directly. They will let you know about the testing that they offer when it is available, all the different testing sites. But I still recommend, even if you have to do the testing, contact the coordinator for your program first, just to really figure out, okay, is this the right test that I have to do? What is the score that you're looking for? If I don't meet that score, will you still consider my application based off maybe my GPA or a statement of intent? So it's good to contact the coordinator a little bit before as well. Even like with the GRE, they usually have just a subject test, or they have an overall test. So you'll really want to make sure that you're taking the correct test for your program. So I always recommend contacting the coordinator before you are setting up these appointments with these tests. I hope that helps. I'm gonna stop sharing. There we go.
Thank you. Another question, can online students be GAs?
Yeah, this is a great question. But in the past, I want to say, unfortunately, no. However, I would probably want to confirm that with the Grad Financial Services, if just in case anything has changed with that. I know it's been more the case just for like international students that were still in their home country, they were not able to. But again, I would maybe just confirm with Grad Financials just to see if anything has been changed or updated since then.
Awesome, thank you. Is there any other questions? I have about 7-ish minutes, 8 minutes. There we go. We have about 8 minutes left. If anybody else has any more questions, feel free to unmute or drop in the chat. Actually, I have a question. So my master's, I'm currently getting it in music, and so I'm under the School of Fine Arts. And so I wasn't required to take any of those tests, but I did have to submit an audition. So for other, degree programs that might fall under the fine arts or don't necessarily require traditional tests, is information on that form regarding, portfolios, or things along the lines of that, like specifics behind it?
Yeah, so like is that just like on their on the program page? Like are they able to find it? So you mean like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
There's no, that's great. I know you, especially with music, you have to do the audition, get that set up. There's some programs have interviews. Some, like you mentioned, they have to do that portfolio. It will show that on the program page, if what is specifically required. Sometimes I've seen more information even on the grad level gateway. Once you actually click on like portfolio, it'll let you know what exactly they want you to submit for that portfolio. Or again, if it's just too general what they're saying, or you're just not sure if what what you have is what they want, contact that coordinator, because again, they're the ones who will be reviewing it. So it's always good to just make sure and confirm with them, is this what you're looking for? Do I actually submit it to you? Should I submit it to the gateway? So sometimes they have very specific requirements too. So it's coordinator is your best go-to if you have any specific questions with it.
Thank you. How many in-person classes do you need to be taking to be a GA?
Yeah, there's really not and again, I'm going to assume that you're looking probably to do an online degree is my guess. There's not really a cap on it that I've heard. It's just, I don't know if your degree can be fully online is basically the main thing. If you were just doing, let's just say, I'm going to use the MBA again, just because I know their degree is not fully online. But if they had a student that maybe had all their classes were online for maybe just that one semester, that would still be okay. It's just because their degree is not a fully online degree. Eventually they are going to have to come here and take in-person classes. I think the main thing that we would have to find out from Grad Financials is, hey, can fully online degrees still be considered to do a graduate assistantship is the main question with it.
Another question, how do you find the graduate coordinators?
Yeah, let's see, I may be able to share my screen one more time with you and I'll show you that. Let me open up that page here. Okay. So the coordinators, you can find them on all of our program pages. So on our web page, if you scroll down again to where it says Explore Programs, click on Learn More. This will take you to the degrees directory where you will see a full list of every single graduate degree that we offer. So I'm just going to say, maybe Master's of Science in Accounting is what degree you want to go for. If you click on the link, it will open up what's called the program page for that program. Now on the program page, it's going to give you a little information about the specific program. We touched on accreditation, talking about how all of our programs are fully accredited. If they have additional accreditation, it's going to go over that. Some of them will show you the career possibilities that our students are doing and what they're going for and what you may want to go for your career. But if you scroll down further to the very end, it will show you right at the end of the contacts, it will show you who the graduate coordinator is. Again, feel free to contact them. That is what they are there to help you with. If you have any questions about the application itself, if you're wondering, you know, if maybe you qualify for it, if you're concerned about your GPA testing, anything at all, contact the coordinator. I'm going to show you too, just while we're on this page, all of our program pages will also show you what their plan admission requirements are. This is going to show you exactly what you would have to submit for your program. So in this case for accounting, you can see that they're looking for a bachelor's degree. They look for a little bit higher GPA. So that 2.75 that we talked about, that is what the graduate admissions team will look for. With the department, some of them will want to see a little bit higher. So in this case, they do want to see at least a 3.0 GPA. They are looking for that you've completed, you know, some accounting courses. They do want to see a GMAT or a GRE. They do say it could be waived if you meet this criteria. And then that's really it for accounting. So definitely look at your program page, check them out. But again, if you have any questions, contact the coordinator and reach out to us if you do have any questions, and we're happy to help.
Thank you. All right. Is there any other further questions? All right. Well, before we end today's session, we would like to thank our presenter for sharing their time and expertise with us today. And thank you to all of our participants for joining us today. Before you all log off, please take a few minutes to fill out this workshop feedback survey that I am dropping in the chat right now. It means a lot for us just to take a few moments to fill that out. It helps us improve, you know, how we deliver workshops and just the quality of workshops in general for you all. Awesome. All right. Well, I hope everyone has a great rest of their day. Thank you so much again to our presenter, and hope you all have a wonderful day.